It's time to get educated on the craziness impacting K-12 classrooms and college campuses around the world.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. I am Katie Patrick, joined by the man known only in the inner circles as David Fiorazzo. Before we get started with this lovely episode, please do hit that share button or right there on your screen so we can educate more patriots around this fine country that we currently, I guess, still have. Now, we are going to start in Portland, Oregon, where they're trying to make it so we don't have a country anymore, where there is an anarchist organization, just one little one. They're doing their part to destroy the future leaders of this country by offering a social justice summer camp, which, duh, of course they're offering that.
Yes.
And of course it's for children. And of course they're going to be starting at the ages of 10 years old. Now, David, can you tell me exactly what's happening with said summer camp here?
Going on now in Portland. That's right, Antifa summer camp for 10-year-olds. And in other words, they get to say and repeat things like, cops and borders, we don't need them. What we want is total freedom. Or, as one of the results of these camps, to get the kids to be convinced what they're saying, the whole damn system is guilty as hell.
Oh, very nice.
8 to 10-year-olds? Was it 8 or 10-year-olds?
10-year-olds, you know. They're in double digits now, David. I mean, they are ready for these chants. And don't we know all of the chants? But hey, they have them there for the kids to learn. But, you know, the 2022 summer camp registration, it is, you know, the Budding Roses families. So that's what this whole thing is called, the Budding Roses. And they're saying, hello, Budding Roses families. We're excited to announce Budding Roses will be returning in person this year for a free 2-week summer camp exploring social justice issues, youth, leadership, arts, activism, games, and more. Nothing is a game to them. Everything is super serious. The camp's going on right now. So, man, I'm sorry if you missed out there. But they brought it back for this year, so maybe next year it'll be. But what is happening right now at this very moment out there in Portland? Well, maybe they're spending their time learning the chants of the Antifa.
Yes.
Including what you were just saying. But, you know, my favorite always is no justice, no peace. No racist police. No justice, no peace. No racist police. No? Not getting in on it? Okay, just me then.
I'm just so disappointed that they, as if children, don't get enough of this all year round in the government-run schools. You know, they're putting out social justice minions and activists. Now they're doing the summer camp for 4th to 8th graders. And the organization brags about children who attend their free camp later participating in protests and encourages them to be anti-fascist social justice activists.
Well, hey, they have a mission and they are going to fulfill said mission.
And they're open about it.
And they're striving, okay? They want to provide a safe, except when they go to those activist things, as you just said, to protest, because those things are so safe.
Yeah,
but
blowing
it's safe
up
in an
police
empowering
cars.
Space for, yes, East Portland youth to learn, to express themselves, and to engage critically with the social justice issues that impact them. Now, David, I never thought I would actually say this, but I am advocating for those children to be left home alone on the couch watching TV all day. I never thought this would actually happen, but I right now actively saying leave your child at home alone to watch TV, because there's a better chance that they'll just fall asleep and not have to at least hear all about, you know, tear gas for Portlanders, of course. I mean, it is rated PG-13 for clean language, expressive pictures, and implied violations of, you know, human rights. Yeah. Oh, more chants.
We have to
have all the chants. Cops and borders, we don't need them. What we want is total, as you said, freedom.
Freedom.
However they say it. But here's mine. I mean, because they said arts activism, right?
Ooh, coloring.
There's coloring. We have to have the coloring. You know, what we believe. A Black Lives Matter principles coloring book. My question is, what happens if you don't color to the standards for them of what color they want?
Ooh.
Will the Lori Lightfoot on the page there just come after us, or will the kind of Spike Lee-esque man there on the screen? Will he
Wait a minute.
take his flowers
I'm not
and
sure
shout at
that's
us?
a man.
Well, it's transgender affirming. I don't know how he identifies or whatever.
Okay, you're right.
But what now? That's where we're at for all of it. Yeah, so that camp is happening. And in addition to the arts activism and everything else, hey, we're going to teach you about writing. Oh, finally. Kids during the summer are going to learn about writing.
Finally, writing.
And why writing people in prisons and jails, it matters.
What could go wrong?
Nothing.
Young children,
nothing could
minors,
go wrong.
writing letters and communicating with convicted felons in prison. What could go wrong there?
Now I'd like to tell you all about my time.
Okay, my time
in the clink. My time in the clink. No, I was never in the clink, thankfully. But I used to be a newspaper editor, and as a newspaper editor, we would get letters addressed to me, the editor, from the local prison system, and there were some requests in those letters from the inmates, and there was some other things that. Yes, I did take a lighter to the letters afterward, reading them, because no one needs to read those. But anyway, so and now your children, if your kid is attending that camp, will learn how and why writing matters for the inmates.
Listen to this on the bottom of that poster showing the communist fist holding a pencil. I guess you're going to write to prison inmates. In order to fight the prison abolition, we must connect with and advocate for those most impacted by the prison industrial complex. And who can forget our VP, Kamala Harris? She was actually bailing out felons in Minneapolis, the Minneapolis Freedom Fund. When they were convicted, they were sent to prison. She was raising money, helping raise money to bail them out so they can continue to do their activism and violence. It was violent for a couple of years. But this is just some twisted stuff going on. But then it's Portland.
With all the censorship taking place on social media platforms, we've made it easy to keep up with your favorite content. Simply download the Freedom Project Media app in your app store. Get access to 18 new videos a week, plus thousands of archived shows, lecture series, and educational animations. Download the Freedom Project Media app on your Apple TV, Roku, tablet, or phone, and make sure you allow for notifications to keep you informed.
Well. If you've ever attended college, you probably know that it takes forever to get through, especially if you've been there recently. It used to take, 3 years, 3.5 years. You could get out 3.5, but for sure, you're done in 4. And then it became 4.5 years. And then, why not just stay for a super senior year? Stay 5 years. And now we're up to 6. At this point, a handful isn't enough. We need another year. And it costs so much then. So, of course, in that whole time, you're learning nothing. So why not? Why not just add on more courses? And
more
that's
requirements.
More requirements. And that's what Northern Arizona University is doing, because they are going to require 4 diversity courses. They're very specific. It's not just, hey, take another 12 credits, because that's what it equates to. Each class is 3 credits. 3 times 4 is 12. I know math. They are now making it so it has to be 4 diversity credits to graduate. So that in most colleges, a 12 credits is considered full load. 15 is more so what you would take, but full time still is 12 credits. And so that's a whole semester of tuition going to 4 diversity courses. And you have to take them or you can't graduate. Northern Arizona University will mandate the students starting in 2024 to take diversity, equity, and inclusion courses grounded in critical theory before they can graduate. Now, this school specifically has about 29,000 students. I want to see, after this announcement, how much that drops.
If it does.
If it does. Well, hopefully it does.
Go ahead.
The 4 diversity courses are going to have to come from the categories of global diversity, indigenous peoples, intersectional identities, and U.S. ethnic diversity. And that's according to the internal memo from the campus administrators. These 12 credits of diversity requirements were approved back in October of 2021 as part of the university's updated general studies program. And that was reported in City Journal by John Saylor, who is a research associate at the National Association of Scholars. Now, as Saylor actually reported, These diversity perspective courses must embrace the philosophical underpinning of identity politics. According to notes from the university's Liberal Studies Committee, foreign language courses fail to qualify for diversity designation. Why? Because they do not incorporate critical theory, which the Diversity Curriculum Committee expects of the courses it approves. David, please tell me, why again? How is it really that foreign language courses? How can they not qualify to be diverse?
I don't understand that, because you would think that would fall somewhere under the umbrella of diversity. But one thing that got me was intersectional identities.
Yes.
I need a translation on that, because I'm not sure exactly how that works there.
Yeah, neither do they, and that's the point. And that is the point. If we just put, equity in there and intersectional and love, peace, and harmony, if we just put those terms in there, people are gonna be like, yeah, okay, we're good with it, and they move on. They're not even questioning what the words are. It's a word soup, as you mentioned the VP before. But the diversity strategic plan that was drafted in the fall of 2020 had called for an increase in 20% of the students taking the diversity, equity, inclusivity courses, the general studies requirements approved by the Arizona Board of Regents applying to all students. So they had already called for this, like a 20% increase, and now we're going even more. We're going in. And according to what the state funding says, this university, specifically Northern Arizona, gets $132 million annually. So they are not in the business to say, whatever the state says we need to do. They're going to just say, yes, sir, may we have another, because they want their $132 million.
So from the taxpayers?
Oh, yes.
They get $132 million a year.
$132 million.
And there's another revelation of how they put our taxpayer dollars to use. They're requiring DEI courses. Did I say that right? DEI, diversity,
equity, and inclusion.
Of course. The new general studies program that our faculty designed is ambitious and aspirational. It showcases a roadmap for our students' education future that mirrors the strategic roadmap we endeavor to create to change students' lives by providing equitable value and drive positive change in communities throughout Arizona and beyond.
Ooh, it's like Lightyear, but not.
Beyond Arizona.
I just want to take a look at that one more time, because you see the word soup that they use. We're going to provide equitable value. What does that even mean? What is equitable value? And driving positive change in communities. What does that mean? How do you define if something is driving positive change? Who defines these words? Because they do, and so it means absolutely nothing to anyone. And what's going to happen is, I'm guessing with these 29,000 students, is they're just going to be like, oh, it's another just gobbledygook. Okay, yep, I'll sign up for the course, take one a semester and get it done with. So you're going to continue for this to happen over and over and over.
Today's show is sponsored by our friends at MyPillow. Save up to 66% on all items at MyPillow.com when you use the code Dr. Duke. That's DRDUKE. Support this show by supporting a great American company.
One would think, and that's where I've gone wrong, is that one would think that you would maybe take a look at a university and what, kind of the university stands for, and, what they teach, maybe, what the university looks like, where it is, how much it costs, and all these things. You would think that you would do that before you enroll in a university. David, am I missing the ball on this one? Would you think
you would
that...
think.
You would
Yes.
think. You would think.
Yes.
You would think. But no. We don't do that around here. Instead, we enroll in a university, and then we find out, oh my gosh, it's a Christian university.
Uh-oh.
And oh my gosh, they're going to be Christians at said university? And we can't have that, because we woke. We woke around here. And so we're going to get together with our homies, and we're going to sue said university. Did I tease this enough? I think I did. We're talking, of course,
great.
about Seattle Pacific University.
Oh boy.
Which, wow, Seattle Pacific University out there in Seattle, to actually have a Christian school out there, it's wonderful. But they are actually being Christian at said school, and so students don't like that, and they've raised over $37,000, I think they're like $38,000,
Yep.
so that they can sue their university and hold the Seattle Pacific University board legally accountable, as it says in their little petition.
But accountable for what?
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
a great question, David. Now, they're on their way. They want to raise $75,000 for a lawsuit alleging that school staff retain with the lawsuit itself alleges that the school is retaining a staff policy that prohibits the faculty from engaging in behavior that contradicts biblical standards. Okay, here we go. David,
Yes.
please inform me what is actually happening. What are these biblical standards, and why are these students so upset?
Oh, Lord, help me. First of all, several things that are confusing about this. Well, let's just say the headline is confusing because a Christian university is sued by its own students who are raising money to sue the university they are attending for upholding biblical standards. The second confusing thing is it's Seattle. So a Christian, Seattle Pacific doesn't have Christian in the title, but it is a Christian university. So why? Because they are trying to retain a staff policy that prohibits faculty from engaging in behavior that contradicts biblical standards. So the problem here is you've got the Bible, and that's what your authority is. If you're a Christian, the Bible is your authority. It teaches God created the heavens and the earth. God created mankind, male and female, marriage, family. That's all ordained by God, and these are biblical standards. Of course, the LGBTQ goes completely against that, and that's what they're pushing here. But these students, like you said, were they not thinking, and they went to this college because, well, it didn't have Christian in the name, so let's go to Seattle Pacific. They don't investigate what college they're going to and going to pay tens of thousands of dollars to, and they go to this college and they say, wait a minute, I want the freedom to be LGBTQ and go against the biblical standards. Why do we have to put up with this? Because that's what the college...
Well,
Go ahead.
and it's...
I'm going to lose it.
Calm down, David.
Jeez.
David. What's happening is it's the students doing this on behalf of the staff, so it makes you wonder, did the staff put a little something in the ears of these students to say, you sue, so that I can finally come out? Or who knows? We're thinking of this. All we know is this has been going on for all of summer, because on May 25th, the group Seattle Pacific LGBTQ+ protest launched a sit-in demonstration demanding that the university's board of trustees publicly disclose who voted to retain the policy, and for those members, obviously, at minimum, to resign from their positions for holding homophobic beliefs. Again, biblical standards. It's all in how you say it. Homophobic beliefs, biblical standards.
Do we see something on policy there, Mr. Menzel, that we can look at? Okay. Employee lifestyle expectations. Now, employees of Seattle Pacific University, which again is a Christian university, are members of a community. All communities expect their members to uphold certain standards of behavior and contribute to the welfare of the group in specific ways. So they've got this list of expectations. Look down below there. They expect, in keeping with these expectations, to ensure a spirit of Christian community, the university employees are expected to refrain from committing or advocating illegal or unethical acts of any kind, sexual behavior that is inconsistent with the university's understanding of biblical standards, including cohabitation, extramarital sexual activity, and same-sex sexual activity.
Bingo!
Use of any alcohol or tobacco or products on campus, conduct that is contrary to their anti-bullying, and it goes on. But let's emphasize the fact briefly that it did say that any cohabitation, meaning even a male and a female heterosexual couple, are not to cohabitate. So that's part of the standards. LGBTQ is also part of the not their standards, but that's what they want them to refrain from if they're an employee at the school. All right, before we go, let's take a little time to fill you in on some other stories we've been following, and let's start with a simple question. Are you a fan of ice cream? Of course you are. Yes, both of my hands go up. Well, an iconic dessert shop in Portland, Oregon, Portland again,
More Portland.
combined the scent, and taste of ice cream into an edible perfume. The company known as Salt and Straw has worked to develop a perfume that can be sprayed on ice cream as a topping or worn as a fragrance. The company currently has 3 flavors: a cloud of cocoa, which has notes of chocolate, malted milkshake, and whiskey. Or a plume of blooms, which has jasmine and honeysuckle, and a swoon of citrus, which combines key lime pie with lemon groves. This isn't the company's first attempt at a unique flavored scent. They currently offer a whiff of waffle cone perfume, available for $28 a bottle. Unfortunately, that one is not edible. Speaking of food, a woman traveling from Singapore to Australia recently had to fork over $2,500 because she had a sandwich. An Australian native named Jessica Lee says she bought a foot-long Subway sandwich at the airport, ate half of it, that's 6 inches, and saved the remaining half to eat on the flight home, which a lot of people do. Little did she know that any and all food brought into Australia must be declared on a traveler's incoming passenger card. Well, her sub contained chicken and lettuce, which apparently counts as bringing fresh meat and produce into a country. So for her carelessness, authorities slapped her with a $2,500 fine. But that's not the end of the story. After Lee protested about the incident on social media, Subway decided to capitalize on the press with a surprise gift. Watch.
I don't know which way this goes. To say thank you for eating fresh, we've uploaded a sub card with $2,664 just for you. We hope this covers all your chicken and lettuce needs. Love from your Subway fans. Oh!
So despite having to pay the fine, she did pay the fine, it looks like she'll be feasting on Subway for many meals to come. Katie, how many people do you think bring food onto a plane these days?
Well, technically, if you think about it, if they eat anything in maybe 24 hours and haven't, had a bowel movement or whatnot, they all have some food in them, but that's a little gross. Although we are talking about Subway, so it's kind of one and the same thing there. I just want to make a quick comment here about the Salt and Straw story because, number one, don't let any child who has that on them near Joe Biden. Just safety. And number two, Salt and Straw actually is in Disney Springs at the Disney World area. And when I was down there, I missed it by like a week. They opened up like the week after we went, and I was very sad because I love my ice cream. And I would have tried many a different flavor of ice cream, but not the perfume. That's way overpriced.
Wait a minute, you went to Disney?
I did.
Okay, all right. Finally, let's wrap things up with everyone's favorite satire site, the Babylon Bee headlines. Let's see which one should be crowned numero uno this time. Start with Netflix losing 1 million subscribers, leaving 10 million people wondering why their Netflix login doesn't work anymore. Number 2, homeless person offers to give Steve Bannon some change and a hot meal. Number 3, White House reassures nation that the person actually running the country is still healthy. Number 4, White House clarifies that Biden only claimed to have cancer due to his dementia. And finally, Biden races to sniff one last girl before losing sense of smell from COVID. Katie, I have a feeling which top pick is yours.
As indicated by my previous comment, do not let any child who will be around the president have any sort of scent of any ice cream.
He had to get one last sniff.
One last sniff before. And then, he's got COVID again, so they're dead. Yeah, that's lovely.
That's just creepy, and, there's something wrong. Let's just move on. It's going to wrap it up for this segment, and more to come next time.
All right, we're going to wrap it up, I tell you. For all of us here at Freedom Project, please stay educated, my friends.